Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Shibo. Today is Thursday, June 8th, 2023. So Honkai Star Rail, huh? They had their update 1.1 the other day, Tuesday evening. I logged in on Wednesday morning after, the maintenance kept the servers down through past my bedtime, and I saw that, hey, the character that they've released for 1.1 is a bit better than the worst case scenario. Doesn't necessarily meet the best case scenario situation in interpretation of how the skill mechanics might work, but better than the worst case scenario. This is a character that can apply weaknesses to enemies based off of the elemental types that your team has. So if the enemy doesn't have a weakness to an elemental type that's on your team, this character can apply one of those weaknesses of your team to the enemy. And what was a little bit confusing was, like, how does this really work, like, percentage-wise? Say you have a team that consists of 3 characters of one type and 1 character of another type. How is that calculation performed? How is it determined which type gets applied? What is the percentage chances? And as it turns out, in that specific case, it's actually a 50-50. It's actually just a 50-50. We started early today. No, we actually started on time. We actually started on time for once. So, yeah, I mean, we're just on time. This is the normal start time. If anything, I started later today than I did on Tuesday. So yeah, that was a question. Can she apply her own element for this character as a weakness to the enemy team? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. I wish she didn't, because there's a bit more utility than if you had 3 characters that were not the same element as this one on the team, it would have been guaranteed. But there is a check on the enemy to be like, oh, hey, this enemy actually has this elemental weakness already, therefore it won't pick it. So if you have an enemy weak to wind and you have a wind character on your team, that will not be a weakness type that could be applied to the enemy when you use the skill. Which is good, which is really good, which is what pushed me over the edge to want to actually wish for that character, pull for that character. So I pulled for that character and I ended up with 2 copies of that character. Very luckily. So I've won a 50-50 chance now 5 total times. Like, I want other characters. I actually want standard banner characters for Honkai Star Rail, and the game just keeps giving me the event banner characters. It just keeps giving me event banner characters. So, I would go until I have a 3rd copy of this character, so I can have her 2nd Eidolon to make her better, even better. Her 2nd Eidolon is amazing. Her 1st Eidolon's amazing, but her 2nd one's even more amazing. Is one of the best in the game, but still. Yeah, that's just how my luck has gone in Star Rail. I just keep getting these event characters, even though I actually want to get additional standard banner characters. And the standard banner has only given me weapons, or light cones. It's only given me 2 light cones so far. So it must give a character before or on the 270th wish, but I'm like in the lower hundreds. I'm like 120 something. That guarantee won't apply for a while, and there's a good chance still that I may end up with 3 light cones rather than getting a character before I get a character. I was like, it's frustrating. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about at the beginning. Just something completely different, random, not related to what we're streaming today, as we usually start off these streams. Just, hey, I got like lucky, but I didn't actually want to be lucky. Oh well. Oh well. So, game, Factorio, hi. Last time we met, we got space science. Not like it really does anything for me at this point in time. We're still chewing through utility techs, and there's not really anything that's extremely useful at space science outside of, like, making your bots go faster on a lot of the infinite techs. And technically winning the game is take a tech at a space science tech. Take the Pyrrhic Victory tech, and you win. Congrats. But I have some science production goals for this playthrough that I would like to meet. And since I have now gotten space science, I have added and enabled my Productive Pyanodons mod. And I am working on updating my Productive Pyanodons mod to include a lot more of the, or to include, period, some Pi Alien Life stuff and Pi Alternative Energy stuff, and new stuff that isn't productive from the other mods that exist. So I am working on updating Productive Pyanodons. And since I have enabled it, things are a little different. I have not completed the list at this point. So that's going to be something we're going to work on together. Things like myoglobin. Yeah, you are now productive. Myoglobin existed before Alien Life and wasn't productive, so now it is, thanks to this mod. It's mostly taking stuff that I believe should be productive and makes it productive, even though normally it's not. There is another thing that I have done between streams that I said I was actually going to do. I said I was going to do this. I have made high-tech bots no longer require energy to run. It's actually two little bits of edits that need to be done in order to achieve this. You need to change the energy per tick use and the energy per move use. Because, of course, robots, they use energy just by existing, and then they use more energy when they're actually moving. So if you set both of those values to 0 joules, well, then they will operate indefinitely without having to recharge. You know, because that actually makes sense for getting to high tech, right? My bots are high tech. They should have like their own little personal fusion reactors, I guess. I mean, we could add something along those lines as an ingredient to the high tech bots and just go from there. Say, hey, they recharge by themselves. You want worms? Yeah, there's more mechanics that we can look at. You said in an older version in Pi, building that kind of worked like a Minecraft ender chest. I have never played Minecraft. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Be more specific. Like, what do you mean? Linked chest thing? Yeah, that's the logistic. That would be logistic worms, which is, I think it's just called the logistic station, is it not? Where have I even unlocked it? Probably not. It's here. Logistic stations. This is at domestication stage 4. Need to unlock it first before we could use the thing. Yeah, basically you put this down. It's a chest. It delivers things almost instantaneously from one location to another. It isn't like a linked chest at all. It's just it takes in a thing and it moves it to another thing, another location. It moves items, and there's a specific mechanic of linking these stations together, which is odd and weird and likely still prone to bugs at times. So, that's like how that goes. Yeah, it's still here. It exists. It's just not necessarily worth using at this point in the game when it is in the codex, most likely. Yeah, I would hope. Logistic stations. Yeah, able to transfer items instantaneously between different buildings as long as those buildings are tuned to the ID of the same thing. I hope they've fixed all the bugs with it. It's just there were bugs specifically related with nanobots placing the buildings. Specifically with nanobots placing the buildings, it would literally crash the game. So, yeah. I hope that's been fixed. Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It is a mechanic that works if you can afford to build the buildings. Otherwise, it works otherwise. You just have to make sure that your buildings are set to the same settings, and it will deliver from one to the other. I don't know if it's necessarily back and forth. I don't know how it works if it's going back and forth or like if there's directionality here. I would hope that there's directionality, that it only goes one way. I would only want it to ever go one way. If I wanted to go the other way, I would just set up a new pair, sending it the opposite direction. Because that can be buggy as all hell to try to work with if it tries to send things in both directions. So, our production goals. Our production goal is to get 1 space science per second, 2 utility science per second, 3 high science 4 per second, 6 production science per second, 10 high science 3 per second, 20 chemical science per second, 30 high science 2 per second, 30 military science per second, 60 logistics science per second, 100 pi science 1 per second, and 200 automation science per second. These are the production goals. And by the way, I think he's still there. Is he still there? Do we still have... Is he there? I can't tell. I think that's his back. I think that's Ollie's back up there. I need to like prop this up. That's a bit too propped up. He's there. Hey, Ollie. Ollie. Yeah, there's the face. There's the face. There's Ollie. He's on a box. On top of a box, resting comfy on the other side of the TV screen. On the other side of the TV screen, he's got a leg draped over the side of the box. Can I show production area for portable fusion reactor fuels used in utility science? I mean, that was just literally place a building. Where is portable fusion stuffs? I did that a long time ago. Not really, but portable fusion. That's not the thing. It's fusion cell. Personal fusion cell. Was this the thing eating the curium? Because I just made the curium here, or the fuel rod Mark IV. This is fuel rod Mark IV. It's extremely simple. It's pulling in the americium from the Mark II fuel rods and just converting it to the curium 250. And that goes into the fuel rod 4 and then into the personal fusion cell item, which is being made somewhere. I'm not sure where. And it should probably get made productively in that specific building. There it is. Hi, I found you. I have found it. Takes in tritium and deuterium. I just have this building that converts some deuterium into tritium. I don't use the power in this thing at all. What do I think the coolest looking building is? In the entire thing? I do of alien life, I do enjoy the Yaddle culture. I like this one quite a bit, with its blues and purples and yellows. I think of the alien life buildings, this is the best building, and it probably is my favorite design of a building in the whole thing. Although the working antelopes are pretty nice too. The new antelopes are pretty nice, because this was updated. The building is bigger than it used to be, of course, as always, and it's been completely redone. Yeah, they've got an interesting animation now. They're thinking with portals. Alright, so what are we doing? I need to add productivity to a number of buildings that, through my mod, now are productive, and one of the most important ones to do that with is metastable quasi-crystals. That is a biggie. Getting this productivity is top of list, and I will need to unlock the tech. I think it's, unfortunately... Do I have it already? Do I have that tech? I might. Yeah, I do. It is here. I even have the molecular assembler Mark III. Okay, let me set those to craft, because I need both of these things. Yeah, you make me a few of those. I also need you. I need a few of those. And I do want to start making the Mark IVs of... Come on. Turn off the exoskeleton. I want to start making the Mark IVs of these. The pulp mills, because I have added recipes. I've added productivity availability to pulp mill recipes with my mod, so now I can actually get productivity on things like rayon. I've already actually done that. I went to my spot over here, somewhere down here, making rayon right here. It's productive now. As is fiber from raw fiber. That's productive now. And so is graphene rolls in molecular assemblers. Molecular assembler recipes are now productive, which reminds me, oh hey, another incredibly important one that's needed to be productive forever, and is now, thanks to my mod, is this stuff right here. This stuff is now productive. Nanostructured material, the bane of my existence. The absolute bane of my existence, nanostructured material. This stuff needed it for a very long time, and now it has it at Mark III. It essentially halves the costs, little more than that. Yeah, very, very much needed. We're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units of stuff just for the stupid special alloys here. I am tempted to make these special alloys productive. It's just that none of the smelter recipes are productive. But, like, inherently, no recipes in these buildings are productive. But I think that basically all of the smelting recipes of alternative energy need it. Or at the very least, this recipe needs a molten variant, and I don't think that there is for this special alloy. Yeah, there are no upgrades to this specific recipe, nor are there upgrades to this one either, or this one, or vitrolloy. There's no upgraded vitrolloy. A few of these, there's upgrades, like the aluminium silver, the lead antimony, the erbium nickel cobalt. Somehow that got an upgrade, but the titanium nitride, the next lead antimony, the vitrolloy, the iron next lead antimony, the niobium aluminium titanium, the chromium molybdenum nickel, and the molybdenum silicon titanium aluminium nextlet special alloys. These do not have recipes that use molten metals for improving the output. Therefore, they need to be productive. I mean, hell, I would say that the molten recipes should also be productive to make it so that you want to change how you're making things. I would say that in general, if there's an upgrade to a basic system, that the upgrade should be productive, even if the and that the basic one should not be, so that you have motivation to do the more advanced recipes, and that they offer not only a increase in output for your given input, but then it's also productive, so you can gain productivity gains from it as well. Make it worth your while to go through and do these bit more advanced recipes. Now, as I said, these guys no longer are taking energy, and I would like to replace all of my bots with them. We only have a few. We only have a few. We need to replace 14,749. Yeah, and I gotta do the high-tech construction bots as well. If I do that, then I don't have to worry basically about anything. I could just, set up my logistic zone again across the entire base. So I did a few other things off stream, since we were not quite progressing yet, as I go around and replace a few things with modules. I have added this and sort of extended my network over into this square at this point. This is more augs, a lot more augs than previously, with their special food, with beacon shenanigans. I have the Mark IV automated factories now, which is great. Yeah, pretty basic. Just advanced food, going in, making things, providing them onto the train network from their original location, just requesting them. So I am able to provide these for slaughtering. They are still getting slaughtered up here to provide to the rest of the train network for now, but I've also added slaughtering somewhere in here. There's a thing that here, yeah, I added slaughtering here of augs to provide all of the products to my logistic network. And I have set it up so that if somehow we fill up on everything, it'll actually stop voiding it, so I don't keep wasting my augs on production that I don't need at that point in time. But it is checking for 4,000 units in every box, and the one that's keeping things going here has been lard. Lard has been keeping things going. So we'll keep slaughtering as long as I need more lard here, and it does check on this if the A signal value that comes out of this is equal to 7. The way that it's operating is that it's enabling the belt when A is not equal to 7. So when A equals 7, it stops the belt from running. And right now it's 6, because lard is less than 4,000. When lard is equal to or greater than 4,000, it will output that A as 1, and that'll make it 7, and it'll stop. So that is a thing. I've also yeah, I've also scaled my production on modules a bit through beacon shenanigans. I've taken all of the relevant items involved in making my modules, all the relevant parts, and they're at the speed cap. They're at the speed cap now with the Mark IV buildings, and yeah, this is great. It's great. I like free. Free is my favorite number, so I'm getting a lot of extra stuff for free because they're at the speed cap, and these are actually pretty fast recipes. The slowest recipe here is like 7.5 seconds. So yeah, they're all getting basically free productivity from operating so fast. and that's given me loads and loads of my speed modules, which I need loads and loads of as we go along here. I did that. I've also added another 100 labs. Also added another 100 labs, so we have I have 300 labs now, and I don't think that's going to be enough, at least until I get my speed techs here that are actually on the list, because they're necessary since the science processes so slowly. I don't remember. I think I added this too. I think I've added this as well. So I think last time we built, or I built the Vonix dens here as Mark II. I got the tech finished that unlocked the Mark III den, which, since I have the upgrade for Vonix that makes den production free, I was able to go straight to Mark IV. So I have everywhere Mark IV Vonix dens. But I realized, since these are really slow, even like with Mark IV buildings here, and what I had done is I did the upgrade here with the anti-tumor to get guts and venom. Well, what I realized was I really shouldn't void these venom glands. It's actually a lot of infrastructure to build these things, so I decided, you know what, for guts, since these guys eat muckmo anyway, I may as well just make more muckmo and just use them for guts instead. They produce the same amount of guts as just guts, so use it instead. Don't do this extra processing when you don't have to. Just use it for the venom glands, and that's it. So now I have this for primary guts. I do get rid of all the other stuff here. I could use it and set up like the same setup as with the augs, but the primary thing here is guts, and I want the guts. And I'm doing this here for the guts. Glorious guts over here. Oh yeah, this is the artificial insemination recipe for the muckmo. So we are making huge amounts of calves from a singular muckmo adult, and the adult dies and produces some byproducts and artificial blood that gets deleted here. So the main output here is the calves, and the calves get raised. Adults get provided onto the network, and we get more requested here to convert into the anti-tumor version, and that gives loads of guts. Loads of guts. I like the guts. Guts are wonderful, and guts are feeding lots of things. Guts are feeding the Xenos up here, which I have that upgrade now too for Xenos. The Xeno upgrade. I've taken option 3, Hive Mind, which gets rid of bones and fish as ingredients for eggs. Makes eggs cheaper. It replaces it with hydrofluoric acid barrels. So keep in mind, I did have to bring up hydrofluoric acid for barrels, which I'm making anyway for power. So, and I have more of it than I need. So that was a very, very easy switch for me. And it saves on fish drastically, as well as on bones drastically. So all of this fish now that I'm making here, a lot of it is not getting used in reality, because I don't need it for the eggs anymore. I need it for the adults. Still need lots of fish for the adults, but now it's less than before for the eggs. I don't know if I've mentioned yet, but I have put more Fagnot production online, and I've upgraded them BMP Fagnot for bones, primary bone production. This specifically is for converting bones to lard. I am actually converting bones to lard, and I think I'm doing that somewhere over the rainbow. I'm also making casein. Oh right, I did change that. I need to make my way up and over, and hopefully not die again. I keep running, like literally running into my trains, and it's a little annoying. But yeah, somewhere, where? Down here. So casein. I made casein productive. I didn't make any of the other steps productive on casein, but I made casein itself productive. I needed more casein production to produce the quality aug food. So I said I added all these augs. These augs and their cubs are eating up quality aug food. Quality aug food needs casein. I didn't have enough casein, so I'm making more casein. I do have the milk already. I didn't have to worry about scaling up the milk. I just needed to scale up the casein production. And this has always annoyed me, that this specific recipe, at least, was not productive. You got this whole chain of stuff, and then you end up with a intermediate product that isn't productive. Like, excuse me? So I added the last one. I could have added all of the others, but that's just, like, a bit extreme. That's a bit extreme. There's, like, 4 or 5 steps in this, and then having each one be 120% or 160% productive is a bit much. Is a bit much. But hey, maybe if I need a lot of casein for other things, it might be on the agenda. We'll see. I need to make simic food productive. Simic food will need to be productive. I will add that on my list. On the list. So that should be simic-food. And then the advanced food. Simic-food-01. Okay. And then I guess it would be simic-food-02. The quality food. That would make it productive for that food, because that was missing. All the other foods, productive. Simic food, not productive. Why? Why? Exactly? Over here, we've got these things. So, as I noted, Broad, Kickalk, and Aurum replicators weren't productive. Really? Did I misspell it? I must have misspelled it. Replicator dash KIC ALK. What? I added this. And I added the Aurum. And that didn't take either. What? Grodd took. These two didn't. Huh? I must have a misspelling. Replicator dash Kickalk. Recipe name. REPLICATOR dash KICA Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's on my list. Weird. Then this one, cadaveric aurum. Yeah, that's spelled right. Huh. That's really weird. I'll have to figure that out eventually. Not right now, but yeah, something with these two recipes is a little weird. And yet replicator-grod worked fine. Huh. Anyway, enough of that. I have the Relesia now. I didn't have that last time. Relesia is here. It's going. I've done the recipe that produces 4.7k, eating up some syngas. So I now have Relesia. I could put this onto my train network. I haven't done that yet, and I need to delete it. I need to delete it from the train network, just like I need to do that with the Tufra as well. Yeah, and then over here there's a whole bunch of novens. I needed a few more novens for various things. There was something specific, wasn't there? That I needed more of them for. Looks like I needed it for a lot of things, including the Rika protein. Antelopes are using them, a lot of them, and that was, I think, one of the limiting factors on my antelope production was those novens. Okay, I think I may have covered everything that I did between streams. Maybe. I hope. How do I decide what should be in the mall versus what should be train built? At this point in time, everything should be in the bot mall. Everything. Absolutely everything should be here. Should be done in the logistics mall. It's just a matter of what do I need now versus what can wait a little bit. But at this point, absolutely everything, the entire base is going to be through the bots. And I am slowly growing my logistics zone to cover some things. So some things can basically stay where they are, and I'll just grow to them. I'll just like extend my logistics zones to those locations and upgrade them mostly in place. But yeah, everything will be here eventually. Most likely the finished thing will be completely bot based, but there's some things like maybe not with the Arthurian eggs. There's some like alien life stuff where I'm thinking maybe they should be just staying out and then brought in by trains, but I'm more inclined to extend to them and just have the bots fly the distance because I have changed the way that high-tech bots work so that they are not, so that they don't need to recharge. I have changed the high-tech bots so that they don't charge anymore, and that means that they can be used over longer distances without worry. You can just use them. It's great. The issue is making enough of them to replace everything in the base. The issue is making 14,000 of them. And to continue to scale them. So, yeah, I think I've covered at this point everything that I did. Yeah, so exactly like Bob's fusion bots. Like, because they are the top-end bot, the top-end bot should not need to charge. The most expensive bot that exists, that takes you until basically utility science. That takes you until utility science. It should not need to charge. That should be your reason to make them in the first place. That should, like, your reward for getting here should be that they do not need to charge. So I've changed it so that they don't need to charge. It is as simple as that. Anyway, time to scale. We need to scale stuff. We need to get first space science going. Now, space science is now productive. It's one module of productivity, but it is now productive to be in line with every other science that exists in the game. So there's that. We have productivity here. We need additional destabilized Toxris. That is our limiting factor now. The goal is to make only 1 per second, but I know that I am short on my satellites, which we are slowly making satellites. That is a thing. Satellites are going. It's just how can we improve the satellite production? If I can find my satellite production. Oh yes, I did incorporate this, so these are now productive. And I do hope I've gotten Mark IIIs now of this building and this building. Yes, I have. Bots are on the way to upgrade those. You are not productive. You will not be productive. I will not add satellites as a productive item. The limit here is solar panel Mark IV. The limit for the solar panel Mark IV, I believe, is actually this stuff right here. This right here. This is the issue. I want to put a request in for these and for the these guys, particle accelerators. I want all of them. You need processor cores as your limiting factor to make multi-quantum dot cells. Processor cores. I literally just made those better, but oh well. Let's find those. Thought I saw them up here. Yeah, right here. Processor cores. What is your problem? And you are newly productive. Guess I'm still waiting on these to build. Only had 2. So what are you lacking? These heavy endope silicon. Or heavy P dope, excuse me. Heavy P. That is the clean air one, the cold air one. Yeah. This has been productive the whole time, but it looks like I'm lacking on this air. Lacking on air. What is the problem with the air? Ah. I see. Alright, I am extremely frustrated by this. This is extremely frustrating. They fixed, like, the Mark II to 3 works. The Mark III to 4 works. The Mark I to anything else does not. Why? 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 Now I have to go in and manually update this. Where's my filters? Filters. Hello. And the evaporators. There we go. There we go. Go fast. Zoom, zoom. I said zoom, zoom. Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, I would need to move this to make it go any faster, since we need 6,000 pressured air. Since this needs 6,000 pressured air, I would have to take a pump and pump in from a tank that provides 6,000 throughput. That is the unfortunate consequence of pipe mechanics. Pipe mechanics suck. This recipe is not productive, so I can't actually get any more than 1,200 per pump out of this. Technically, you don't really need the thingy, but it helps. Ah, goodness, this is 3,000, right? No, this is 6. Ugh. Oh, that sucks. Any plans after beating the game? Not really. What I will ideally get to my science production goals. And when I get to my science production goals, we will be done with this save and we will move on. I will use this save, potentially, to go and make some pre-recorded tutorial type videos. I might not have to, we'll see, but because I need ideas as to what do I actually cover that I haven't already that's like different now. Like, I don't know exactly. But anyway, yeah, we will eventually play something else. Some other mod set for a bit. For a bit of time. And we'll see how long it takes before something else comes out with Pyandons. Or if PyBlock happens to get finished its like updates, beta updates, if that is released, when that is released, I might go back and do a PyBlock playthrough. And maybe that can take enough time for another piece of Pyandons to release. I don't even know what they're planning to do next. I haven't paid attention. I haven't gone to the Factorio forums in like forever. So I don't know what's on the agenda. Are we like using all the bots? Yes. There's 180 free right now. I need more bots. A lot of this is charging, I think. Is a lot of this? Yes, there's loss due to charging, although it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I think I may need more bots. Yeah, the charging isn't as big of an issue. There's not too much of a penalty from those. Actually, yeah, there's a few hundred, several hundred charging right now. Oh yeah, I found it. All right, yeah, it's a charging thing. So as the bots get replaced with high-tech bots, I won't need as many. A, because they're faster, and B, because they don't need to stop to charge. Yeah, so that's just an issue that will get resolved with time, and there's already 2,000 bots available. Okay, so your issue should mostly be resolved. You do need to go faster, though. I can shenanigan this if I wanted to. I don't know if it necessarily needs it, though. That's a lack of bots, isn't it? No, that's not. Oh, it's an inserter speed issue. Okay. Fine. Add more boxes. Be free. Do your work. Alright, good. It's moving. It's moving quickly. What is the next bottleneck? Because that's what we're going to be. That's the name of the game. Going forward. What is the next bottleneck? Let's fix the bottlenecks as best we can. Although I'm not as actually concerned about the space science getting made. Once that product's finished number there, once the product's finished number says 333 or 334 realistically. Actually less than that because there's 40% productivity, but yeah, by the time we get like around 300-ish, we will have enough space science to finish the Pyrrhic Victory tech. But that's not like constant production of the space science, which is what I want. We want constant production of 1 per second, so that fundamentally means we'll need to be able to consume 1 per second of the science / all of the targets. The target goal will need to be able to consume more than or equal to that amount of science in the labs through space techs, and I'll need to actually be producing that much. So yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. Where is the stuffs? This stuffs. Hello, this stuffs. Are you being made? Yes, you are. Am I making enough of you? And what is your limiting factor right now? Your limiting factor is getting enough quantum dots brought in. Okay, that's fine. You can actually bring in even more stuff, and we'll be better. We'll be better. Not the best, but we'll be better. In actuality, what I need to do here is add the productivity where I have productivity. So let's just go and apply that to everything. That only applies 1 to everything. I need to go here and apply that to everything. And in this way, we can be like, okay, put that at Mark 3. I can make this at Mark 4, but that's not as important. I can make this Mark 3. And it should automatically put that at 3. Apparently it's only 1 of these that I need, so that's great. Go here, put that at 3. And I think I may just actually have all of the production that I need for the space science at this point. Yeah, see, the productivity really cut down on the necessary amount of quantum dots. It, like, halved. Actually, this is more like a third. This is a third of the quantum dots. This right here is a third of the quantum dots that I needed before. I needed over 18 of them. Now it's 6.34. That's a good improvement. And it might be better based on what exactly is using them. No, it can't get better than that. So that is what it will be. Which is nice because that was one of the worst things ever. There's other things that can go Mark 4 in here, but that won't necessarily matter as much. I think I have this 1 per second now. I think that covers it. At least it should. So now it's just a matter of, this will be bursty because it makes up to 5 per second, but I think that I am good. Ah, deuterium. So that is coming from Bagnot gas sacks, and it is being produced where? Where am I making the deuterium? Right there, and I am standing where? Here. Down and left. Here. Hello. You don't have any. You have 63 that are on the way, 83 that are on the way. So you have stuff that's on the way, it's just not here yet. Have I gotten those techs? I have gotten organ printing stage 3. Organ printing stage 3 allows me to use immunosuppressants to improve my production on a lot of things, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to need to switch to that all the way over here. Now, I am making Vagnots. I could upgrade Vagnots and get a whole bunch of gas bladders from doing that. That is something I can do, and probably something that I should do. I need to go up. Yes, I think. Up, up. Yeah, so things like with the come out tendons, I wanted to swap out of that, and I wanted to swap out of potentially the pineal glands as well. There's no real good reason for me to be bioprinting everything that I'm currently bioprinting. But yeah, I need to swap this gas bladder for this one and add, add the immunosuppressants to you. Remember that this building is 10% productive inherently, thanks to an upgrade. So it does not need extra. Specifically for these recipes, I don't really see too much of a need to add productivity to these recipes. We should want to print our things. We should want to grow the creatures and not bioprint, but there are some things that it's like better to just bioprint. You, for the tendons. Where's tendons? There. Bring me immunosuppressants. And that should scale those outputs nicely. Huh, your sugar blocked. Where is my sugar? Is that sugar? No. Yes. Yes, that is actually sugar. Shortage. Oh, well. Bring more. Bring more potatoes. More taters. Bring them. They are needed. I should probably... That should be... Because the other two are productive, this should probably be productive, but I don't think it necessarily matters too much with the sugar stuffs. Ugh, I can't hit all three. So you there and you there. Speed. Go fast. Dolans. Productive Pyandons, my mod, changes all of the, or at least at the time, all of the recipes that produce fluids from tholins to be productive recipes. This gives a reason to use tholins. This gives a reason to use upgraded tholin factories. This gives a reason to actually make tholins in general. Just in general. But probably still not going to be something that I focus on. I would have to do a little bit of research. There's things like acetone where tholins are very, very useful. And that's just tech locked. I have to actually unlock my tholin techs. Ah, goodness. All the way back to production science with tholin techs here. And I'm not sure I have all of the recipes on my list, but they should be productive. And they are relatively fast recipes, so you can do vegan shenanigans with these. Just don't expect, really, to get a good output here, because they are expensive. Let's keep that in mind. You still need to launch rockets with these tholin capsules. They still have a cost associated with them. It's not a huge cost for this point in the game, but it's still a cost. And you still need to, like, get the prototholins as well. This is not productive. This is speed-based, though, so you can make it go really fast. So that's how that would work. That's how that would work if trying to get acetone, for example, at 1,000 per second out of tholins. And the ratio changes because of productivity gains from making it go super fast. That times whatever number of actual fluids you want, you could just do this for. Now, without the productivity at all, it goes from 320 all the way up to 833.4, and you can see how that changes the math here. You're spending almost half of a circuit 2. And I would say that at this point in the game that these costs are trivial for this point in the game. There is actually a good argument to use more tholins at the late game. It's just not worth it before you get productivity on your circuits. And it's only something to consider if you have a whole bunch of productivity from, like, Bob's modules. With vanilla regular strength modules and the increased costs and all of that, yeah, I would not want to spend a half a circuit on the acetone, right? Like, the circuits are expensive without having Bob's modules, so nah. I would like to rebalance the whole of Pyandon's mods at some point to actually make it reasonable values without feeling the need to use Bob's modules. Like, there's no chance I will ever play this without Bob's modules in its current state of balance. It's not. The game itself literally cannot handle it. Like, the actual game itself, the game engine, is incapable of handling this into the late game. Like, you have to be able to put up with single-digit frame rates to actually complete a base without Bob's modules, strength of modules. Like, it's actually insane. There are those who have put up with it, but I am not one of them, nor will I ever be one of them. Especially with Alien Life and with now also with Alternative Energy. Before Alien Life and before Alternative Energy, yeah, I did it without Bob's modules. Okay? Like, I have beaten Pionodons without Bob's modules. The first time I played Pionodons, my off the rails series, where I didn't even build rail in the entire base. My first playthrough, this was before the release of Alien Life. Alien Life wasn't even in production, really. I think when I started the thing, like before Alien Life, and of course before Alternative Energy, when Pionodon's most advanced part was high tech and fusion. Those were the two I think that were the newer parts of it. I played the game fresh, didn't have Hell Mod, didn't have Factory Planner, didn't have any of that. I played it, I beat it, got through Space Science, didn't have Bob's modules. So it's a thing that you could do. I had like over 10,000 bots, of course. I don't know exactly how many. I think it was like 20 plus thousand, 30,000 bots running in the base, and performance was awful, but still did it. It was doable. Not so much anymore. Thanks to the necessary scale of PyAlien Life stuff, but I'd like to get to a point where you could actually complete the game and still have 60 frames without needing Bob's modules. That would be nice, you know? That would be nice. Okay, I think that Space Science is accounted for now on the production for Space Science. I think it's mostly accounted for. Okay, now there's something with quantum dots. Again. Alright, quantum dots. Your issue is colloidal silica. Is it simply a matter of bots bringing it in? No, this is actually a production matter. I literally scaled this right before the stream. Colloidal silica needs plastic. I am lacking plastic. Okay. We have something to scale. We have something to do. Plastic. We need infinity plastic. So, how are we going to get our infinity plastic? I need a recipe that is productive, ideally. If the recipe itself isn't productive, then the thing that makes it should be productive, and I think that melamine is. I'm pretty sure the melamine... Wow, that's not productive. Nor is that. Okay, well this one is. The vanilla basic recipe is productive. I need like 3,000 or 30,000 of it, whatever. Tell me, game, what do you want to use for this? No, not happening. Not happening. No. No. This used to be the, like, best way, but, I don't like ethylene anymore. And that's gonna also be a lot of fluids, so, yeah, I think this has to be, like, the way. It's just unfortunate that the actual recipe itself isn't productive. Maybe I should change that. There's lots of options with plastic. Maybe nah. So the key here is that this is eating urea. Because that is actually the better way of going about this, since 20 makes 30 of each. it is productive, it can be vegan shenanigans, since it is an 8-second recipe. Right. What I don't know is you can vegan shenanigan the meat part, and you can absolutely vegan shenanigan this one as well. But the ammonia should still... That'd be 3,000 urea versus 7. Yeah. So there's a savings there. You have to... The coal is free. The methane is also free-ish. How do I want to get the methane? That's a great question. Methane has a copper recipe, doesn't it? It has a nickel from syngas. Has a gas bladder. Has moondrop, of course, but that's a lot of scale. Thought... Oh, there's a Tholen recipe. I thought there was something else, but I guess it's syngas. Syngas is free. Like, completely free from this. And from this, really, but this one isn't productive. This step is not productive, so this step is... the actual syngas is not, since it outputs tar, but things have changed, so the there is no more coal gas from tar recipe. The reason why syngas from coal gas and oxygen, the reason why this is not productive was because there was a recipe to convert tar into coal gas, and there was this loop in here. It was productive until we pointed out, oh hey, if you have enough productivity in here, it actually produces more tar than the input to make the coal gas. But since that no longer exists, it's no longer available in a normal game, this should actually be productive again, I think. I think this should actually be productive again. But anyway. No, I'm not going to make 30,000. This is, like, just for demonstrative purposes, but... I guess I need to make Mark IV of these buildings, too. Now, I've done this already. Plastic. Of course not that station. Plastic 2. So I've already done this. And the issue... Alright, I need to get FB reactor Mark IV. Oh, I have it. Okay, good. It is on my person. Cannot reach, but you let me place the thing. Ah, mechanics. Probably still too far away. Yeah. Likely still gonna be too far away, even from the bounds of my doohickey. We'll see. We're like right on the edge. Okay, we got it. We got it. We're good. Are you capped? You are not actually capped. Okay, I do need to go there then. Get to my locomotive. I know it's physically close from where I am, but it will be faster to go to my locomotive since we don't have, I don't have the next lit tiles spread all the way up there. I'm super fast on next lit tile. I in fact move faster than the advanced locomotives on the next lit tile. I outspeed my advanced locomotives, these things, when I'm running on the next lit tiles now. Ah, right. So I've also gotten all of the braking technologies, the uh yeah, the locomotive braking techs. So their power to brake is extreme now, meaning that they will travel faster longer before they slow down to stop. Makes the trains more efficient. Speaking of being more efficient, more efficient you shall be, and I will be replacing all of these locomotives. I'm gonna wait for the other ones to come back. You're still loading. So these are not at the speed cap yet. I need to get these to the speed cap. Specifically this and this. This one is already there. It makes 300 from 600. This will make a few more than 600. It just needs some more speed. It needs more speed. Okay, good. We have hit the cap. It just needs power up there. This one is also at the cap. So it makes 6,000 and 6,000. Okay, you need 12 and 12. So you need a throughput belt or a throughput pipe, which is fine. I don't think I need pumps for any of this, but yeah, it does reduce the amount of total urea spent on here. And yeah, it makes like a lot. It makes a lot. A lot. I don't think it makes exactly that much because this, I think, gets capped at 12,000 on the sludge. Oh goodness. Oh. Ooh. No, go away. Okay, you're still capped even without that one building. Yeah, that needs to be there. Okay. And then the water is up to 12,000. Okay, that needs to be addressed. So we have that. This is 10. We need 10 total thingies. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 2 more. Oh no. Here. No! Okay. That is 10 water wells. And that provides exactly 12,000 per second of water. And it works. It works fine. I know it works fine. I've done it before. Everything is awesome. And that will make stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. So, the issue is, of course, being able to get the stuff out of the building. And that would mean that I should prioritize getting the even faster belts. Eventually. I will need to get the faster belts. They go up to 450 items per second. at max, which would mean, you know, I would still need 2 to get the 600 in. But it would add another building. Oh, look, can I fit 3 here? Yes, I can fit 3 out there. And if I could fit 1 more, yeah, I can fit 1 more there. So what would happen at the maximum tech level of belt would be that I could have a certain number of these factories here. I could have an extra factory. So rather than having 3 at most out from this one building, it would be, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be 5 instead. But for now, we have just the 3. And these are speed capped. I don't have to worry about anything. You can probably end up just down here and still be speed capped, yep. So then I just need to get the outputs onto the trains. Okay, good, those are there. I will remove one of these entirely and replace the other one. Okay. Move. And of course, I could do all of this in my mall instead. It's just, this was already here, and my mall, my logistics, bot logistics base will be expanding out here at some point anyway. So I may as well leave it here since I have it here. Weird. Right, it's 300. Yeah, of course it doesn't quite look right. Yes. And there we go. I have just, I sort of just tripled. Yeah, I just went from 300 per second to 900 per second of, plastic. So I think I may have enough at this point, and it only slightly increased the amount of the, inputs brought in. Ever so slightly increased the inputs brought in. Because this makes, you know, a few units of melamine. Just a few. I'm only eating 1,800. Of the 5,000 that this says that it can produce. I don't think it's exactly 5,000, but we'll be fine. We shall be fine. And this is the gloriousness of vegan shenanigans. Anyway. Now we're actually probably more limited by the speed at which we can load into the wagons quite oh, yes. Yes, we are. Look at that. We're actually loading faster than we can unload into the wagons. This will improve by taking stack inserter capacity technologies. I still actually have techs to take on that front. So that will get resolved eventually as it can move more items per swing. Because that's how bulk rail loaders works, is that it's just a bunch of inserters. It's a bunch of stack inserters that move quickly, but they improve with stack inserter capacity upgrades. And if you didn't know, you could have boxes on the sides, on the edges, the inside edges, all four corners, and you will get one inserter assigned to each of those boxes to either pull from or deliver to. It's just a way of extending the it can extend the capacity, and it can extend the number of loaders that you can use on the building. Anyway, I do hope that resolves the plastic issue. They can. It's just I do also want the storage capacity from the bulk rail loaders. While it was the case that you could not use loaders on wagons before, and you can now, the reason for using the bulk rail loaders isn't so much that they are a loader. It is that they are a combined loader and warehouse. So you don't need as much space for your train stations if your station itself is also your warehouse. Because storage buildings are big in general, and these things hold 800, or they hold 320 units of stuff per thing. They are just easier to work with. Okay, I do hope that has solved plastic. Oh, wait, no, that might not have. No, not source priorities. I want this one. Plastic. M plastic. Ping that for me. M. That's it. That's what I was afraid of. Oh boy, we're already halfway. What? That was the other half of the equation. Yeah. So it helps if then we could unload into our provider chests quick enough. That would help too. That would help too. Okay. Now I can check the colloidal silica area, wherever that is, here. And this is vastly overproducing, so it's fine that it's not operating fully. Yeah, even though it's, grabbing everything. It should be vastly overproducing. Should be. I don't think I need 400 of that. So what about the quantum dots? I want to look at the quantum dots again. Of course, all the way up here. The most quantum of dots. You are definitely, I think, producing as much as I need. Yes, in fact, you are filling your box, and that's good. That is good. It needs more phosphine, but I think I have to relocate the building to properly provide it with phosphine. Um, phosphine, of course, I can just make at whatever throughput I need, wherever I need it. It's not a problem. Not a problem at all. Okay, so you are now limited by the silicon. Heavy N. Heavy N. Heavy N is... Is it the Pulp 2 one? Yes. It is the Antimony Pulp 2 one. What is this issue with Pulp 2? You have Dalfroth, so why no Pulp 1? No Pulp 1 because of no fish oil, and that is something that I can fix. Because as it just so happens, I'm making over 20 fish per second. How many fish is it? It's 90. I am making 90 fish per second. So I think that that is something we can resolve. I think we can resolve that fish oil, that lack of fish oil issue. But we are halfway through the stream, which means that it is time to take a brief break. So I'm gonna step away. We're gonna take our break, and when I come back, we will get our glorious fish oil online. I will be back shortly. And I have returned. Welcome back. We need more fish oil. That is what is on the agenda. We need fish oil so that I can continue making antimony. Antimony pulp 2 specifically. And the actual antimony, which, by the way, the antimony for a while now has been made productively here. This is a capped building speed, full of productivity. It's glorious. I have a few units of antimony oxide, but we do need a lot of the pulp 2. The pulp 2 is not productive, nor will it be. I have no intention of making it productive, because it is part of an ore processing chain. So that, generally speaking, does not take productivity, and because it has techs that add to the process over time, the actual steps in the chain are not productive. The antimony oxide itself is naturally productive. It has had that final step be productive on all of the various ways of getting the antimony oxide. All of the various recipes to make it, they are all productive, which is nice. I would like to see that more often. Thanks. I would like that to be the case with like all of the ore processing chains, where the final step of making the plates is productive, because that's what makes sense. Anyway, we need a few units of fish oil. That will involve things. Give me slaughterhouse. I will need room for a slaughterhouse as well as for voiding. So slaughterhouse, slaughter fish. Wow, you need speed so much. Wow, you need so much speed. You need quite a bit. Alright, that will be enough, I think. It makes 538 fish oil. What I want to do is I want to take these other 4 outputs. The bone, guts. Yeah, bone, guts, skin, and meat. I want to have them all be filtered outputs so that I can stack them, and then I can combine them all together to then void them into the void. If I wanted to improve the performance of my base, we would need to have some other solution for voiding. Because as it turns out, if I hit F5, if I don't hit F5, hit F4, and don't show me the detailed info. So it's a little hard to see from this view. Let's see if I can... Okay, up here. So in the top left, that list of debug info is the entity time usage info. What it's telling us is that our combinators, they're using a few whatever microseconds, nanoseconds, whatever. Their performance is a bit low on its impact. What we're looking for are numbers that are significantly greater than 1, ideally. So right now we can see that we are losing frames, potentially, because of the number of active assembling machines. This is like a value that's hitting 3 there. But we also have boilers. That's not as high. Okay, that's fine. A car exists and it's barely doing anything. The character itself isn't doing anything. Combinators are fine. Electric energy interface, that's fine. Furnaces, it's popping up to 1 there occasionally. Furnaces is every single burner entity in the base, as well as every single Pi sinkhole and every single gas vent. So every vent, every sinkhole, and every burner building is a furnace. It counts as a furnace. And yeah, it's popping up to 1 there. So there is room for some performance gains by reducing the total number of furnaces, but it's not going to be as effective as, reducing the number of assembling machine entities that are active at any one time. But you can also see in here, inserters are using a lot. Loaders are about the same. The logistics robots are about the same. So when I say that logistics robots have a huge impact on performance, they do. They do. It's right here. It's in the numbers. There is as much performance penalty of the robots being active as every single active assembling machine in the entire base. Which is significant. Extremely significant. Now, there's also some potential gains here by reducing radar counts. I'm not as concerned about that, per se. But in terms of areas of improvement, definitely there's improvement to be made in assembling machine count, active assembling machine count, active inserter count, active loader count, and the number of active logistics robots. Those things, if addressed, will significantly improve the performance of the game, of the current save. Anyway, that was just tangent again, as usual. So by doing this, we should now have the fish oil. Where is that pipeline on the fish oil? Because I have to bring that over. And I have to bring in fish. Give me my fish. I have lots of fish. I have 172,000 fish. Yeah, I have a few fish available for this. This is using like close to half of my production of fish right now, but I have the production of the fish, so I may as well. And also, this might not be enough burners. So all that divided by 5 is a number. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 63-ish. Divide that by 5, that's more than 10. 6, 9. Yeah, this should, I think, just be enough. I might need another set. I may as well just do it to have it, just in case. More. I am spending the scales as quickly as I am making them. And I don't think that there's an issue at my scales. Yeah, so these are going as fast as they can to upgrade my, I think this is BMP, no, this is Rika Simics. And only Rika Simics can make the Simic scales by slaughtering Rika Simics, so it's just as fast as they're made, they're getting converted to scales, and then the scales are being converted into the metastable quasi-crystals, now, fortunately, productively. But I don't have anywhere near that amount of scales. I, in fact, have less than a half of a unit of scales per second. less than half of a unit of second per second of scales. So yeah, I need to get more of those. The issue of getting more of those, though, is I sort of need to have like this tech for the Simic Den Mark III, and then ideally this tech. Not this tech. The Simic upgrade tech here, Intense Transmutation 6, because this one is what unlocks the Den Mark IV, which means I have to take every other Simic transmutation tech in existence, even though almost none of them are actually worth the upgrade tech. Nearly none of them are. I do want the Mark IV building, though, so I guess I'll have to at least research them, at the very least, so I can have the Mark IV building. I will also need to look at actually upgrading the modules as well, because the biggest issue of Simic is the slowness of the machines and the time it takes to complete the recipes. I could be producing millions of Simic per second. It's not going to help needing this much stuff for the Rika Simic. Having to keep scaling infinitely, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of buildings just to produce a good amount of scales. That might be something worth looking into rebalancing. Fundamentally, it's just those scales are awful. I have all of the Simic. No, I don't. There's also Simic Stage 4, which would add this recipe. I don't know what Simic Manure is even used for, frankly. What is it even used for? I don't think it has a use. I don't think it actually like has a use. Looks like I need to take this tech anyway to get the Mark IV Den. So that's a thing. But we do get better recipes at the least to make Simic in the first place, so hopefully that will help a bit. But yeah, upgrading Simic beyond Mark II is going to be utter hell. And this is yet again another example of awful bioprinter design for getting additional upgraded creatures. We should not be bioprinting upgraded creatures at all. None of those recipes should exist. There should be different, better ways of getting the upgraded creatures that do not involve simply bioprinting them in extremely expensive recipes. They are just not worth it at all. Even if you need the space, they're just not worth it. Okay. We have fish oil. So we have the pulp too. I probably need more pulp too. Maybe. That makes it so that the pressure pump produces enough air. So there's at least that. So a little while back, I saw that on Pi Discord that there is a thread about fixing purest nitrogen, and I want to know what that would entail. Because in reality, in this save, I actually have been filtering the purest nitrogen in certain cases. I mean, the one thing is that it's actually not pure nitrogen. It's not the purest nitrogen. There's a problem with the name. The name is wrong. It's an impure nitrogen. How you get impure nitrogen, I don't know, but it's an item that you filter into a nitrogen, into regular nitrogen. So there was talk about potentially, like, quote unquote rebalancing it. I don't really know why you would need to rebalance it. Uh, Realistically, though, I would prefer if nitrogen was more like, angels, where it's like you just process air into nitrogen and oxygen, and that's essentially what that building does. It's just like get rid of the purest nitrogen, just make it produce nitrogen. Just get rid of that product entirely, just make it produce more nitrogen from the building itself. Just make it do more. Make it do more. Okay, I think... now it's a Dow froth issue. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with it being limited by the Dow froth. I need to make Dow froth productive. That needs to be added to the list. Where's Dow froth? I need to know the name of the recipe. It's probably just Dow froth, but I need to see it. Oh, Dow froth. Where are you? Way down there, of course. Way on the other side of the map. Oh, Dow froth. Oh, Dow froth. You are around here somewhere. There you are. The Dow froth. 250. Dow froth dash 250. See, this is why we look. That is being added to my list. Still trying to figure out why it did not add productivity to replicator-kickalc and replicator-cadaveric-aurum. Still trying to figure that one out. Okay, so that'll make that productive, and so when I next restart the game, I will be adding productivity to this recipe. Because it's necessary, okay? All of the outside inputs going into the ore processing chains, those should be productive. Especially ones that are only used in the ore processing chains. The actual chains themselves, not productive, but all those, like, other inputs that you need that aren't part of the chain, that aren't involved with actual intermediates of the chain, yeah, that must be productive. Must. Not should, it's must. This one's tempting, but Alright, what is now limiting? What is now limiting the stuff for space science? Okay, let's go back here. You... Still on heavy N and in gap. You've got a bunch on you of the in gap, but what's still now with the heavy N? Like, heavy N. Heavy N. Excuse me? I walk away and it just dies? Yes. I walk away and it just dies. Alright, it helps when you actually do have Dalfroth. Ethylene glycol. That is right over here. Yeah, this is now productive. Right. Thank you, Productive Pyandons. Thank you, Otaku's mod. This should be productive. Chloroethanol. Is that the name of the recipe? Yes, chloroethanol. Yeah. That should absolutely be productive. Oh good, you now have enough. Thanks. Oh, right. Beacon shenanigans. We can shenanigan. Yes, this is a 4-second recipe. This can be shenaniganed now. Gee, it's as if I have good reasons to add productivity to some things. Move those up a tile so I can do that. That. That one doesn't fit. Alright, I think that's about all I can... nope, those. And that. 3 more. We are shenaniganed. Thank goodness. Shenanigans are glorious. This should be shenaniganed elsewhere. And when that's out of the way, I'll have more room. But yeah, I think 35,000 is probably enough ethylene glycol. I don't know about you, but I think that might be enough for my purposes here for the moment. So that should get the Dalfroth moving sufficiently. And Dalfroth will also be affected by this same thing when I restart the game and put productivity into its production. I will be able to make it go fast, and it will vastly produce more than I would ever need. I hope. I need to make all of these productive, all these different recipes. Especially the ones that are like the Dash 2s. Rika Dash 2 that uses more stuff. Like, it's using more stuff, yes, it's giving you a little bit more stuff, but then also it should be productive to make me actually really want to use it. Because there are actually recipes that are supposed to be upgraded recipes that actually cost more than the unupgraded recipe. So it's like, well, you could avoid that entirely by making the advanced recipe productive. Like, duh. Alright, that one's the Dash 2. Is this one the Dash 2? Yes, that's the Dash 2. Is this the Dash 2? Yes, that's the Dash 2. Is this the Dash 2? Yes, that's the Dash 2. Is this the Dash 2? Does it have a Dash 2? I don't know. Mitochondria, do you have a Dash 2? I guess it doesn't have a Dash 2. That's fine, then it should be productive. Recombinant erythropoietin Dash 2. Yeah, that is already productive. Recombinant erythropoietin Dash 2 is productive, and yet the others are not? What? Consistency, please? Consistency, please? Alright, I'm gonna add this now. Rika Dash 2, comma. Anabolic RNA, anabolic dash RNA. BMP. BMP-2. We have Orexigenics. Orexigenic. -2. We have Anti-Tumor -2. We have Nanochondria. And then that's all I will need. Okay. So all of those will be productive. And once I've gone through all of these things, I will upload this to the mod portal as an update to my productive Pyandons mod. That will be updated. Nano enzymes, yes, you should be productive. You should absolutely be productive. Okay. What else? What else? You. That. Oh, hey, some NEMs. Actually, extra NEMs. Wow. Wow, extra NEMs. Have I made you yet? No. I don't need that one to be. I need this one to be. Yeah, that's the one. So, there's an argument about not having this as productive, but it will be productive. It shall be. Because I have decided that it shall be. It annoys me, and therefore it shall be productive. This one, no, because of the return of the YAG laser module. This is not going to be productive. As much as I want it to be, with the amount of photophores it can consume, it will not be productive because it returns the YAG laser module, and if it were productive, it would involve having to do a few shenanigans with the thing so that it does not make the YAG modules productive on its output. Ah, boy. Okay, this one, I think I changed. Have I changed this one yet? Yes. I have changed this one. This is the in-gap. In-gap is good now. It could be shenanigan as a 10-second recipe, though there's not as much of a gain from that. Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the stuffs. At the stuffs. What stuffs? Where even am I? Great question. Where's the satellites? Satellites? Or where's the thingy? This one. Okay, everything is being delivered. I'm getting deliveries of these things. Looks like we are limited by the in-gap. Indian gallium phosphorus. We have launched a rocket of satellites. That's good to see that we are launching satellites. We have 239 products finished on the science packs, and we are now no longer limited by the destabilized Toxorus. In fact, we actually have over 100 of them in here. We are limited by the production of intelligent units, which is not a good thing to be limited by. Of all the things that I don't want to be limited by, intel units is one of them. Oh look, and it's our good friend, this guy. Hey, yeah, it's this guy. It's biopolymers. Alright, what is limiting the biopolymers? I'll note that by addressing a lot of these space science inputs that we're also impacting our production of other, like, Mark IV items, by the way. So if I need Mark IV infrastructure, all of these things that I've been working on scaling are part of Mark IV infrastructure, usually, and some Mark III infrastructure. I am looking for biopolymer, which should be right over yonder. Hello, biopolymer. You are limited by silver foam. Where is silver foam? There. Silver foam. Silver foam is operating at the fastest it can. But it needs to go faster. We need more speed. We need more limestone, apparently. Silver zinc alloy has a improved recipe that uses molten items. Which I think this was supposed to be that, I think. Yeah, so silver zinc alloy, not productive, but you can take molten silver and molten zinc to make a few more units of that. Every time. Every time. Just walk right into a train. Forcing you to wait 10 seconds is utter BS, by the way. Like, just respawn me. Like, just respawn. Like, it's already bad enough that you get taken back to the origin point each time you die and have to make your way back. Like, just spawn me there. How can you make a multi-item requester station with bulk realtors? While I thought it's something that you could do, as it turns out, it is not. It is not something that would be easy to do. You would basically have to have, you would need to have a train that is loading to, like, the items that you want already. Like, if you have, you would need to have a train with the 2 specific items that you want to request at a time. If you have 2 wagons or whatever, you would need to, like, load a multi-loaded train. How many bots? A few. Few. There's 16,382 total, of which all but 5,000 of them are active. Anyway, I need to go and pick up my stuff, if I can remember where my stuff went. I don't think it was this. I don't think it was this one. I think it was the one below. There. Right there. Hello. Give me my stuff. Now, if you want a single station to bring in more than one type of item, uh, that is what LTN does. Not Train Supply Manager. And again, I'll note that I have modified the high-tech bots so that they do not take energy to operate. So high-tech bots, the high-tech bots that I have are just like Bob's fusion bots now, and they do not use power just to run, which is why I'm trying to upgrade all of them to high-tech bots. What was I doing? Before I died? What were we doing? I have to turn that back on. There's things that we need to scale. Figure out what, right, the foam. Silver foam. Silver foam. Which is here. You there? You need loads of limestone. Like, utter nonsense levels of limestone. You could be shenaniganed. Do I want to shenanigan you, though? Don't know. It would take a lot, because it's 10 seconds. How do you make the change to the bots? Okay, I can show you the code. I just have to do that. There's the code, right there. That's how you can change the bots. So that data raw, logistic-robot, these 4 lines right here. Those 4. Yes, that limestone building is water limited. Yeah, so robots have 2 specific values to determine their energy usage. This simply changes the energy usage for those 2 different types of settings to 0. Just zeroes them out. This is exactly these 2 values being defined as 0 joules is how it is defined in Bob's for the Bob's fusion robots. Bob's fusion robots, actually, they have a defined value of their battery packs, but they simply don't use energy to move, and they don't use energy per tick to just exist. So that's how you do it. That's how it's done. I'm also working on this list. This is the productive pyandons mod. I need to like prune some of the outdated recipes up top, but and add more in here. Like I've added all of this so far. I've added all of this stuff. Can I move this? I have to like resize the window. There we go. Hi, there it is. I guess I can like post those lines in Discord. Those specific. But as for this mod will be posted as an update to a mod that I have released already, and the other one is going to be part of a larger rebalance. This is going to be part of a larger mod to do rebalances. eventually. So I guess I could just copy this specific thing if you just want this. But yeah, there's some broader strokes things that I want to think about first before going in nitty gritty on a number of recipes. Like this is just bandage. This one here to change the gearbox Mark IV to use less super alloy and less special small parts. This is just a bandage for a broader issue for rebalancing the whole thing. Because I don't want to have to like constantly keep going back to stuff I did earlier each time I make a change later on down the line that affects everything. Right? So really, it's like you have to start from the beginning. You have to like start from the beginning of the game and go area by area from there to do a general rebalance. It might be worth a playthrough from the start where I just go start playing and be like, okay, this needs to be more this scale for this process is an issue for this amount of output. Let's fix that, and then as we keep going, just keep changing things to streamline the process as we go along, and then ideally by the end of it we'll have a streamlined process to get to the end of the game. Thing is, that's going to take significantly longer than this playthrough took to do that, so not as inclined to do that immediately. So it'll be a while. It'll be a while. Anyway, things, stuff, and things. Yeah, so this building is limited on its water production. Unfortunately, I don't have a way of fixing this, of giving it more water in its current location. In fact, I am more inclined to just simply delete it than to try to provide it with more water. That is now superfluous. That is mostly superfluous. It is not necessary. This needs acetylene now. I guess I'm out of acetylene. I like the stone water wells mod, just because I think that this is like one of the more balanced ways of getting water anywhere. It still keeps it as a... It still introduces its own logistical challenges to have to deal with the size of the building. Which is why I prefer using this over other methods. Keep in mind that Pi itself has ways of getting water anywhere. Like, Pi itself has pump jacks that have a water recipe, and you could place them anywhere. And they have module slots. So, yeah, actually, it might be better just to have the moduled pump jack recipes. Actually, let me... Do I have a spot making pump jacks? I do. Are those the actual pump jacks? I think so. Yeah, pump jack Mark III. And place them anywhere. Let me through. Let me through. Squeak through. Yeah, so there is a water recipe that just exists, and you can see the size of this building. This size of this Mark III building. It makes 900 per second, but you can module it. And you can beacon it. And it can make more than 12,000. More than 12,000. Not 1,200, 12,000 units per second, which, you know, that's a pump jack. That's a pump jack into a tank. I have the long tanks. Give me my long tanks. Where are my long tanks at? Long. And then you can have like a whole bunch stuff. Or you could just directly load this into a thing that needs 12,000 per second. It's just that this is huge. This is huge. What about the Mark 1? The Mark 1 is much smaller. I know I have the Mark 1. Mark 1 and Mark 2. There's also a high-tech version, but I don't know if that's actually available. No, Mark 1, get placed, and then Mark 2. Mark 2, get placed. So the Mark 1 has only one module in it. But, of course, you can do this. You just use more beacons and beacon it more. And there you go, there's 12,000. Yeah, they can't be upgraded in place. There are lots of examples of this in PyMods, in Pi's buildings. Yeah, there are a lot of different types of buildings where the upgrades are different in size. The Roboports. Roboport Mark 1, Roboport Mark 2, and Roboport Mark 3 are all differently sized. Construction Zone Expander, Mark 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all different sizes. Maybe the Mark 2 is the same as the Mark 4, but anyway, they're generally speaking different sizes of things. What else is there? There's these. There's the oil rigs, the actual oil derricks. Oil derricks change in size based off of mark level, even though the tar extractors and the gas wells do not. Because that's older, back when you actually had specific oil, tar, and natural gas nodes that spawned in, rather than the stupidity that is the bitumen mechanic in its entirety. There used to be different sizes of oil rig locations, of oil locations. There was a small, medium, large, and extra large version of oil that could spawn on the map. And you would need to have the specific derrick to mine those locations for oil. Yeah, this is the medium oil derrick, and the medium oil derrick is bigger than the small one at Mark 1, and the large one is larger still. And the extra large one is larger still. But yeah, like, I think I would prefer this, but this is like still like a tile bigger than stone water well. Yeah. So this is a 6x6 building. This is a 6x6 building, and well, yes, it can be beaconed to be this, and it can produce more than a pump out. Yeah, that's actually better. Let me find my pump jack in here. I actually want to hold on to some of those. Because I think that actually will be a better solution in a lot of cases for getting maximum water. Anyway, so I was limited by the stuff, the the acetylene. And I should not be limited by acetylene. I have some acetylene. I could have more acetylene. I could have even more infinite acetylene. But, yeah, so that, I would hope, is no longer an issue at my biopolymer. It is still an issue at my biopolymer. Delivery times are a thing. Alright, so where are we at? Here. Where am I standing? There. Right. Right and down. There's a few bots charging. We do have 5,000 free still, so I guess it doesn't matter. Alright, you. Alright, back to that being limiting. So there is room for this here, but is there room for this plus the doohickey soil extractor? The answer is, if I move that, yes. And then it's just a matter of speed this up. Give me limestone. Give me another thingy for the limestone. Make you productive. And then speed you up into absolute infinity. Yeah. So at the tick rate, it actually only uses 6,000 water per second, and this is providing it. And it makes 312.61 or 312.67, which is enough. Not quite. This is getting even more speed bonuses, but anyway. Yeah, I think I have enough limestone now. See, that tangent actually made us do something that was better than what I was doing before. Yes, Ollie. He's looking. See Ollie's face looking this way. He hears his name. Yeah, I see my boy. I see my boy, he's sleepy. Sleepy up on that chewy box. Okay. We have half an hour to do what we can. We'll do what we can in the next 30 minutes. Okay, what do we need to do now? That should have improved the production here, limited only by the acetylene. So that should improve the biopolymer. Oh, hey, he's here. Hello. Hello, my kitty. Now I have to, like, refocus. And zoom out. Hi. Hello. Hello, cat. Hello, my Ollie. Yes, you heard your name. You heard your name. Here's my boy. There's the big boy. Yes. My pretty boy. Pretty. Yes. He wants his attention. He wants attention. He likes attention. So, science. Focus has been the space science, but I have to do this exact same process for, like, everything. All of them. For all of the sciences. Although, I will note, I should have theoretically enough production of the earlier sciences at this point. Off screen, I went to Pi 1. This is capable of producing enough Pi 1 as long as I have enough of the stuffs, and it looks like I have enough of the Pi 1 at this point, and I have enough of the automation sciences from elsewhere here. I think I have the full 200 coming out of this. I think I have the full 200. It's quite possible. Alright. So, you, still limited by that. I've made 266. Processed 266. Still needs these. Still needs these. Now needs nano mesh. Great. Nano mesh, what are you lacking and where are you? Nano mesh. Product only. Pin. I'm looking for nondescript square. Among a sea of squares, yellow squares, I'm looking for a yellow square. I could make this go faster, but it's up here. So, what is your issue? Oh. That is not necessarily something I can fix quickly. Yeah, I can't fix that quickly. And you can't bioprint it either. Yeah. So you must kill Simic for keratin. Fortunately, when you can do upgrades to get more keratin. You can upgrade it to output 10 at a time. It's very interesting that the BMPs only give you 10, and yet you get 10 keratin out of the anti-tumor, anabolic, and recombinant erythropoietin. Like, that just makes sense right there. You get 2 specialized products from Simic, from the recombinant erythropoietin recipe. Yes, your lickies. These lickies. Yeah. So, the issue is how many buildings it'll take and how much keratin I need. Let's go up to nanomesh. Yes, it'll give me a nice arrow. Point the way. Okay. How much nanomesh? I'm gonna need to break down space science to you. So I need at least 2 intel units. Keep in mind that things are not quite, like, the numbers aren't quite the same because I have beacon shenanigans going on, but I have more productivity than it otherwise indicates. But so it's 0.77 of these batteries. These batteries are productive now, as they should have always been. So I need 0.7. Okay, so there's something else that's eating up all my nanomesh, I guess. This is going fast. Is this a... No, this is not a process I can necessarily beacon, per se. I am no longer using these as a source of chitin, so I can completely replace this with the upgraded erythropoietin recipe that will give me more simic blood and more keratin per unit of simic. Thing is, do I want to set it up to make 18 keratin? That's the question. So let us make keratin from this recipe. I need 10, because that'll be 1 per second, which is about what I'm making. Cough, cough. So we have 2 options. We have a faster option with growth factor. I will do that one. With Mark 2 Simic Dens and Mark 1 Simic, we would need 66 buildings. With growth factor, with the growth factor. For reference, this is 50 buildings. This line is 15. I need 66, and this is why I am working towards getting into the Mark 3s. Wait, 66, but did I add the thingies? Oh, thank God, it's 36. I just thought that. Wait a minute, I just changed the building. I didn't actually give it more simics. Now, at the Mark 3, it would be 24, and at the Mark 4, it would be 19. So let's keep that in mind. I will do this now. So I have to find a spot for 36 of these buildings, and like run pipe to my Simic blood and all that, because I do use the Simic blood here to make my non-conductive phasogen. Granted, I'm effectively just voiding it right now. Maybe I put this... No, because I need the cages back. It's like, maybe I put the slaughterhouse over there. No. There is, I hope, space for this in here, in the old spot where I had Augs. Where I have previously had Augs. So that's 12. I'll have 3 sets of this. I'll have this building. I will need to bring in the things. Output, input from this guy. This guy's gonna get beaconed. Good enough. You output keratin there into a chest. You output cages into a chest. I skipped something. Oh, I must not have had 12. There we go. 12. 12 was the number that I wanted. There's going to be output belts. Come on, there we go. Whoops. Okay, then just copy the top and paste it across. Oh, whoops. That's better. And that covers it. All right. We have the things. So this should operate at this point. I need to put a tank down for the stuffs. I will need both of these things, unfortunately, so it's like there's not much of a way around it. I will have to overflow void both of these, actually. Don't know if I can... Can I stack keratin? No. So this will just void. I think I need one more. Okay, then... Bring this over. Oh. I didn't even, like, it didn't occur to me that, oh hey, I totally got a solution to the chitin already. That I had an actual upgraded Vrauk solution already. I am deleting all of this. And that includes all of that and all of this. And this. So that could just go in there, I guess. It also is overflow voiding here. It doesn't need to. But, yeah. That way, I can keep providing this with Simic blood, and I can get my keratin. Get more keratin per unit of Simic. Lots more keratin per unit Simic. So we went from about 3 now to up to 10 per second on the keratin. So that should be good enough, I hope, for the moment. We'll see how much nano mesh I end up needing, ultimately. A whole bunch of Simic are going to be needed as modules. In fact, I'm just going to unload this box back into my provider chest so that we can get the modules set and we can actually have the Simic being made and provided. I will scale these as well off stream. I'm just going to be continuing to do what I've been doing on stream, just off stream, until I have enough production to meet my goals, and we will eventually have a final stream where we will have the final tech done and have the production goals met, and just go over what the state of the map is like at that point, and we will end it off there. When this will happen, sooner than later, potentially next week, we shall see how much time I have to devote to this over this weekend. But yeah, that is coming up actually fairly quickly. Just to throw out there, that our time in this save is nearing the end. I need to dump this. I need to dump this. I need to dump this. To dump this. And dump this. And dump this. And this. Yes, the end is near. We are almost there. We've almost made it. I will very much likely need even more keratin than what I've just made, but oh well, I'll get to there when I get to that. Come on, empty out my trash slots, please. I have some miscellaneous things that need to just go. There we go. Those. Leave my Mark 1s. Because I now have a smaller footprint water solution. Wow, didn't think I would get that, but hey, we're there. We have it. Something I can use next time, I guess, is this knowledge about the pump jacks. I hope I don't forget about it. Because that happens too. This has come so late where it's been relevant, but then again, it's also been relevant since I've had beacons, where I could have just used beaconed pump jacks for water and have a smaller water footprint overall for the amount of water that I need. Okay. I'm going to bet currently that the nanomesh is still a bottleneck, just because it will take time. Yes, it will save on entities, but it's only saving on wells, which I don't know how like active or static water wells are exactly, like what their performance is like. So yeah, we shall see what, if anything, is going on. Anyway, so what are we doing next? What is the next thing to work on in these last few minutes here? Now that we've got this nicer looking thing, doing our upgrades, even though, um, YAFC, generally speaking, does not like these types of upgrades. It does not consider them to be the best or the cheapest options. It values them a bit highly, but what it's not really taking into account is the fact that this will ultimately mean fewer entities in the base. It means that even though this is a lot of buildings, the amount of buildings that I don't now need to make Simic should be even higher. Ideally, it should be even higher. If not, then we've got a problem. This needs to be faster. Doing these upgraded recipes, while it may be a bit more expensive, should always be more space efficient. And if it's not, then yeah, that's a problem. I thought I noticed I might need a radar in here, but let's see. How is this? How is this? We have one. Okay. You are limited by the nanomesh. The nanomesh is on the way. We're being delivered. So I think we are just going to be consuming our quantum batteries about as fast as they're being made. And that will ideally make plenty enough of the Intel units. So let's have a look at the space science and see, hey, are we still... We are limited by the Intel units. The Intel units are being delivered when they are made. And the Intel units are being made with some consistency. So we may have our 1 per second on the science at this point. We may have it. I have 273 products finished. We could probably set the tech to go at this point for getting through Pyrrhic Victory. Could probably set that to go, but I want to like set it and have most of it be done like going into a stream so that it just ticks over during a stream, as long as I'm paying attention to it. So we don't have to wait for it, because it will be a lot of waiting. Let's see. Let us see. Are you fully online? The answer is yes, you are fully online. So I am supposedly getting my full 10 per second from this building. And it's capable of more than that, so we just have to bear that in mind. That it is, in fact, capable of more. Ah, that could be an issue. Delivery of caged Simic, or delivery of Simic for making the caged Simic to get this going, but it doesn't. I don't see any red lights here. I don't see red lights, so I think we're fine. Yeah, and our nano mesh is just being made as quickly as we're able to make the keratin. So I think ultimately the limit is going to be this as our next limit in all of the production of everything, including sciences. This stuff. Yeah, I think this stuff right here is going to be the biggest pain in the butt. Even with it now being productive, it's still going to be the biggest pain because of this. Because of this. Now, that's something I will work on off screen. I will have to make more Simic, make a lot more Simic, most likely. This will stay as it is. This will need to be expanded. This will need to be replaced, more likely than not. Probably somewhere else where I have a bit more room for more buildings. With that, though, and with all of the robots being active around the base, I would like to thank you all for watching. We've reached the end of the stream. This has been a Otaku Show, but if you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you've not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushow. But if you're so inclined and able, I'll be back with more on Tuesday as I continue my scaling shenanigans. I hope to see you all